What's happening, y'all? This is Todd Wilson with another episode of Elevate Your Game. Today we have a very special guest, Des Ale.
Hi.
This is her game.
It is.
Today the show is called Elevate Her Game. We're talking about you, everything you're doing in the community. Been doing an amazing job. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. We love to start this show off with the Wall of Hoop movies. Your favorite hoop movie of all time and why?
Well, I see a lot of the classics, but I like to plug in the show that I was on. It was called Big Shot.
Okay. Oh, Big Shot. Yes.
Disney's Big Shot with John Stamos.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. Okay. Why is that your favorite?
Because it was my first time. It was my first time on camera. Never experienced anything like it, and it was my first job after we launched Her Game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So, was Her Game represented in the movie?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So you just launched it, just got on TV. It's kind of speaking to what we're going to talk about today, just how, you've always been a part of the basketball scene, but how Her Game just took off and continues to grow and grow and grow. So that's awesome. So let's ask this. When did you fall in love with basketball?
I had a love-hate relationship with the game. As an athlete, but I believe I fell in love watching my sisters play. My older sister, Raina, she was at the University of San Francisco, and then my younger sister, Kristen, was at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. So I was just the cheerleader and the fan, and at that time, Facebook was the social media. So I was just heavily active and involved of just making sure I was just heavily involved of just promoting their game and making sure that people were in the stands and coming out to support them as much as they came out to support the boys.
That's awesome. So just being in the family and basketball, kind of being a part of what your sisters did. And so did you ever attempt to play at all?
I did. I played. I just played because everybody around me played. And I did depend on my athletic ability.
Good.
But I knew that I didn't really care for it as much as an athlete. And I thought when my career was over, I was just going to be there to support everybody else. And I was introduced into the game as a brand ambassador. If anybody's not familiar with the brand ambassador role, I would say it's a promotional model for different entities. So say if Nike or Jordan was having a campaign, they would hire the marketing agency to make sure that their campaign experience was elevated. And a part of that, the marketing agencies would reach out to different brand ambassadors that would go for the role. And I was reached. One of my friends at the time was she was the event operator and making sure that everybody in the LA area was staffed. And I thought to myself, okay, it's free shoes. Right. We get paid to do it. Okay, why not? And then just seeing the whole experience. My first one was in 2019 when they introduced this. I forgot it was the Space Jams that came out in Christmas, and their activation was at Warner Brothers Studios.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
So it was when Space Jam 2 was coming out. It's around
2016.
That time, yeah? Oh no, that was later. Okay.
So it was a whole campaign of just bringing back, and they had it at Warner Brothers Studio because that's where it was filmed. It was the same place, same stage and everything. So the layout was just like how it was laid out when Jordan was there. So I was the first person you see walking in when the influencers or people in the basketball community would come in and just see the whole activation. And after that, I was like, wow, I really do like this. and I got the shoes too afterwards. Right. I was like, okay, I need to make sure who the head honchos were, and I want to make sure that I'm shaking everybody's hands.
Smart.
So I could keep coming back and keep coming and coming to these gigs. So I did that, and I made sure I sent my emails, my thank you emails, days after, and I kept getting asked to come out to different activations. And with that marketing agency, their clients were Nike, Jordan, and Beats by Dre, just all the big brands. So that was my introduction of just promoting their brands and making sure it was elevated. I would just read their cards that they would give us, but I also would do my own research of just why the shoe was created, why was it this color, just all the details of it.
A student of your practice.
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome. So I have to ask, so you said when the ball stopped bouncing for you, because I want to go back to this, 'cause I think it's important for us to kind of know ourselves, right? Did you play in high school?
Mm-hmm.
And playing in high school, what was your experience like? And when did you kind of know that, hey, I'm going to stay attached to this game, but I'm not going to be playing it further?
Wow. Okay, so I was up for the starting role. And I remember I was busting my ass off, and I was shy. I was very insecure, like we all are in high school. And it took a while for me to speak up and ask the coach, what do I need to do to earn my starting spot? And I remember one of them saying that this person needs to start so we could boost her confidence up. And that shot my confidence down.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting. So I'm not the exact same thing. Your coach was bold enough to say that to you, but that happened to me in college, where it was like the coach was getting certain players to try to get them to a certain level, but not giving me that same confidence. So I could definitely connect with that feeling for sure.
Yeah.
Like, man, am I that good, or am I putting in the work? And it seems like you're a hard worker just based off of who you are now. I'm sure you were a hard worker then. When your confidence was shot, what thoughts are going through your mind? I'm sure at that point basketball was considerably a part of your future, playing. And so how did you come out of that, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, so basketball was everything for me, everything to me, because that's all I knew. So after that, it just reflected in my grades, how I viewed myself as a person. And I felt like instead of just me trying to come up and trying to just prove myself, I couldn't at that time because I was so shy. I was already insecure. So I just only depended on my AU coach, my AU program. And at the time, my coach, he still is. He's like the godfather of LA girls basketball. So
Who's that?
James Anderson.
Ah, yes, James. Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
I
awesome.
just talked to him yesterday too.
Awesome. So you played for James. And what was your AAU experience like, just going through high school and all that?
It was a lot better. He just had to make a couple of phone calls, and I had letters, had calls, conversations coming in. I was still able to take my trips, my visits, but my grades weren't that great.
Got it. No, okay. Let's talk about that. So do you feel like that was, rooted in the coach not having confidence and kind of giving up hope at that time?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you know who you are now, you're talking to, what was it, sophomore year, freshman? Do you know what year it was? Was this for high school?
I was coming out of an injury my sophomore year. So I was a junior.
All right, so you go talk to your sophomore, junior-year-old self, 16-year-old self. What would you tell yourself now that you understand it more from a, bird's eye view, looking back? What would you tell yourself?
I would tell her to just be more kind to her and keep believing and keep pushing, because there's a lot of other opportunities that the basketball could open up.
Absolutely. No, I think that's so important, because we all come to that point to where we let one part of our life impact the rest of it, right? And especially for something we're passionate for and we love. And one person, it feels like one person can take that away, when it's really us who's taking that away from us, regardless of who that person who's verbalizing the whatever it is to us. So no, it's important for those people who are in that situation now, because it's a lot. You hear the kids, oh, I should be starting, I should have this.
Right.
And just keep working. Just keep being you. Like, the people who overcome the odds are the people who just keep fighting in those moments, and then learning from them, of course, and all those good things. So thanks for sharing that. That's the stuff we need here, though. That's
Yeah.
the stuff we need here on the Elevator Game. So, um, okay, so you had a lot of opportunities and no grades. So, did you junior college? Was that in the?
I wanted to quit. I didn't
You
want to
just straight
play.
wanted to
Yeah,
quit.
I wanted
Oh,
to
okay.
quit. I wanted to pursue a career in music. That's another
Oh,
topic.
let's talk about
No,
it.
no, we're
No, let's
not.
not
No,
dodge this desk. We
no.
got to. We have to let the kids know because I'm telling you, there's so many kids in your that were in your shoes,
Yeah.
and they need to know how you got back. You got back to basketball, though,
Yes.
right? And it's okay to pursue other dreams because I'm sure the effort you were putting in that led to relationships, led to other
A
things.
lot of relationships.
See, all right. So pursuing music. Are you ready to talk about it?
Yes,
All right.
but I still had to pursue. I still went the JUCO way, and
Okay.
I loved that experience too.
Where'd you
I
go
went
for JUCO?
to Saddleback College
Ah, yeah,
with
down in
Coach
OC.
Lynn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I went over there. I loved playing for him. He just made me love the game all over again.
Nice.
All over again. But I was still trying to find my way, and there's a lot of differences I remember on the team, and I was one of his favorites, so there was a couple of plays designed for me.
Yeah. Good.
He was always in my favor, I would say that.
Nice.
I was able to have conversations with other coaches, and it went to a space where I just didn't feel comfortable being around everybody on the team just because of the backlash that I would get. And I said to myself, if this is what basketball is about with this team, I'd rather just do my own thing and pursue this music career.
Sounds like two extremes, right? One in
Yeah.
high school where it's like, nope, we're
Yeah.
boosting these people up. Then you go to college and get the other end of the spectrum where, because of how good you are, I'm sure the coach, built stuff around you, and both extremes, no balance in there.
Yeah.
Man, I can imagine that. Feeling both of those and understanding how you had this love-hate relationship you're talking about with the sport. And so, once again, I have to look back now, saying to yourself in junior college, what are you saying to that Des?
I would have told her to just keep working, just use this as an avenue to do what you need to do. And just lock in. That's it. I wish in everything that we've built at her game I'm trying to be the person that I needed when I was younger.
Yes.
In that aspect.
100%. 100%. I heard that when you came to core and spoke with the girls, and just the way that you connect with them because you've been through what they're going through. And so I think that's so amazing with what you're doing with her game. All right, so I'm going to go a little further back because your sisters played as well. And so what is that like being in a hoop family? Did you have brothers too?
2 younger brothers.
They hoop too?
They play football.
They play football.
Played football.
Play football. Okay, so we'll talk about the basketball portion with your 2 sisters. You have just 2 sisters?
Yes.
Okay. What is it like growing up in a competitive household? You're the middle sister. Yeah. So you have one older that you're looking up to, one younger coming after you. What were those battles like? What is that dynamic like?
I think it's great because my older sister, Raina, she had to take all the heat. She was the guinea pig.
Yeah.
So everything that she's learned, she would pass it down to us. Some things would just go over my head because I just really wanted to be in my own lane. And then Kristen, she learned from both of us as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm grateful that I had sisters because if I didn't have sisters, I would have been incredibly lost.
Yeah.
Just growing up, yeah.
What is that like having, as a woman, having women around you on the same path or, fighting the same fight as you and having that support?
It's amazing. It's just because, as women, we go through what we go through as women, just preparing for what's to come. If our cycles happen to come out when we're playing a game, we know what to expect when expecting.
Man.
So I'm just grateful. It was amazing.
I bet. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're still connected to basketball? I know Raina coaches at Bishop Montgomery.
Yes,
right?
and Kristen's the assistant coach.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yes.
That's amazing. You guys are still all in hoop.
Yeah.
And so still connected to it. Did your parents play at all? Like, how did you guys get into basketball?
My dad was into football. He played at Oregon.
Okay.
And then my mom was the cheerleader. It was just a fairy tale, high school fairy
Oh,
tale.
that's awesome.
So,
That's dope.
yeah, so they had, I think they had history together, and he was trying to pursue her and all that stuff. And he was a high school jock, and she was the team captain of the cheerleading team.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. This is in high school.
Yeah,
So they're
high
high school
school.
sweethearts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
High
amazing.
school sweethearts at Carson High.
That's amazing. Okay, so they got together and made an athletic family.
Yes.
Makes sense. So, okay, so it's just falling in line with what you have. All right, so we're going to fast forward back to the junior college now. And so pursuing music. So you got kind of, I guess overwhelmed with the dynamics at basketball, the hand that you were dealt with basketball, and I guess the outside personalities, and be nice people. Like,
Yeah.
just hoop and be nice. That's
it. Or you'll be humbled.
right, in some way or another. All right, so pursuing music. So you can sing, you're a rapper.
I can sing.
You can sing, okay.
I don't sing anymore.
All right, I was like, hey, listen,
family
this
karaoke.
is Jim. All right, so you were singing. Where did that passion for music come from, and how did you start to pursue it?
Well, on top of our punishment, if we did get in trouble growing up, my dad would take away games and practices for Raina and Kristen, and he would just have to take away my radio and my CD player at the time. So it started off like I would always let Raina and Kristen know what the top songs were, who to listen to, who's coming up, the underground artists. I think it started when I was really young, yeah.
Oh, that's so dope. So parents, did you hear that? When they're messing up, take away the thing they love the most. And it works, right?
Yeah, it does.
It does work.
It does.
So don't be afraid to take away basketball from these kids.
Yes.
They'll be okay. All right, so how did you start to pursue your music career?
I started promoting myself on YouTube. At the time, I worked at a sports bar and restaurant, and there was an opportunity for open mic. So after I was done with my shift, I would sing a couple cover songs. Raina at the time, I believe she was a JV coach at Bishop Montgomery, and she would always just plug me in to sing the national anthem. Mm-hmm. She was at Cal State Northridge at the time too. She would plug me in to sing the national anthem as well over there. So I was just getting myself out there, and then I ended up taking a position as being a part of the Power 106 street team.
Okay.
So we were on the mic. We were just promoting what we needed to promote with different brands that they partnered with, and then if people wanted to sing, then I'd sing with them too.
Awesome, man. And so getting plugged in their radio station, then you get introduced to the promotional side a little bit with the radio station, and so that put you in a position to meet people and network. And so it seems like you do a great job doing that. You even mentioned it in the beginning of when you first started shaking the right hands and all that. What advice would you give to somebody who's just looking to pursue almost anything? How do you network the right way in a corporate, in a corporate world like that?
I think you need to treat everybody the way that you like to be treated, from people that are working in the lower spaces to the higher ups, because you never know where everybody's going to be at later down the line. Mm-hmm. I remember there was someone that other people would treat. They would treat them just so terribly. Mm-hmm. And I would always make the extra effort to make sure that they were comfortable. Yeah. Years later, they're in one of the biggest positions in the sports world.
Wow. So
they're always looking out for me now. That would be my advice, to treat everybody equally.
No, that's great advice. That goes beyond networking, right? Mm-hmm. Just in life. That's crazy. You have a lot of movie plot lines to your life.
Really?
Yes, your parents with the high school sweetheart and having a family full of athletes, pursuing music and kind of what you went through in sports, the extremes of sports both ways, right? And a lot of these hoop movies we see, you see them at the bad parts of their career to the top parts of their career. You had both, and then the music side, like you helped the person who was getting treated unfairly and they helped you later on in life. Like that's movie stuff. So let's have a movie about Coach Des. All right. All right. So how did music transition into the bigger picture of brand ambassador and all that?
Well, people know, or people that do know that it's hard to maintain the music career. It is so exhausting. There's not a lot of money when you start off, so that's why I quit, because there wasn't any money coming out, and I just didn't want to stick it through.
Yeah.
So that's when I quit. I was working.
I like to use the word transition.
Transition.
You didn't quit. You transitioned to something
Okay.
else. You shifted that. Quitting is when the energy just stops. You shifted your energy to something else. You didn't quit, because look where you are now. So.
I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I received that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I transitioned into being a brand ambassador. And then I was networking with the right people. They plugged me in. They connected me to working other opportunities. I used to do, well, back in that time, the only opportunities that were available were just working grassroots events for boys.
This is like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
She said back in the day, like it's the 80s. But
Well,
go
it
ahead.
is. It seems like it.
Yeah. All right. So working grassroots events, and what is the opportunity? Like you're around up and coming hoopers, working for these brands. What's that experience like, and what's like a day in the life of a brand ambassador?
Day in the life of the brand ambassador. I learned right then and there to make sure that I am always dressed I'm always making sure that I look presentable, because you never know who's coming and whose hand I could shake that day.
Right.
I make sure that I give a great impression, even if it's a 12-hour. It could be a 12-hour to an 18-hour day. I'm already prepared. I have, my perfume, deodorant, everything ready to go, just in case if I need to just tidy up a little bit, but just always looking presentable the whole entire time. And if I do need energy, I already have my coffee ready to go, but just always being ready for anything.
Preparation. No, that's key. What parallels do you see for preparing for a basketball game and preparing to do what you do in life now? We always try to take life skills from what we learned in basketball and hoop to our, professional life or personal life. So what parallels do you see there?
Like you mentioned, preparation, just understanding, or even like the scouting reports, just learning who you're playing, who you're going up against. I would always do my research on the shoes that are going to come out. And if I'm going to talk about the shoe to the clients that we're trying to please and we're trying to impress, I'm making sure I'm the first person that's speaking and telling everybody why the shoe was designed. Because you never know what doors that could open up.
I love that scouting reports, because I know some kids look at scouting reports like, they don't know how important it is to prepare for your opponent and seeing their trends and the qualities of what they have to stop them or to do whatever they need to do to win the game, right? And so that's a great parallel. Thank you for that. And kids, read the scouting report.
Right.
So at what point in this brand ambassador career that you shifted to did her game come?
Like I mentioned, I was given a lot of opportunities. There was one event that will go unnamed because they're doing a better job of promoting the girls' game. I was one of the very few women on staff, and one of my many jobs was giving out product. And I was told before from the higher ups, the boys were getting the product first. And mind you, the kids that were selected from the boys and girls, they're the top kids in the country. You'd see the kids now in the league or playing overseas. So, the boys were decked out and everything, swagged out and everything. The 2 boxes of shoes, hoodies, pants, everything you could think
swag
of.
bag, yeah.
Yes, everything you could think of, they got. And then it was their time. It was the girls' turn. It was their time to give out their product, and I was told minutes before giving out their product there wasn't enough product, and I had to be the one to tell them. Yeah. So.
I wonder who this was.
Like I mentioned, I'll go on
No, it's cool. I think I know, but it's all good.
I remember saying that, and just the looks of their faces it just devastated me. And I remember after just giving out what we could, I remember going in the bathroom crying.
Wow.
Because I felt like I couldn't do anything at that time. And I couldn't, because I wasn't in control. I didn't have the power to do anything, to say anything. So I was just on staff. And I remember on my way back home, I'm like, dang, I know that my experience was a little shaky, but it's not about me at this time anymore. I need to figure out how I can make an impact for the next generation. And I was still like fighting with myself, because I just kept telling myself, well, you didn't have the fairy tale resume. You don't have it right now. So I would just pitch my ideas to different entities, and nobody was listening to me at that time. And then I had to take a look at myself in the mirror and just say, look, like, we know you didn't have the fairy tale resume, but one thing that you do have is willpower, and nobody's going to tell you anything. And if you really want something done, you're going to do it. So.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
You took that leap of faith.
I did.
And where did Her Game, where did that come from? What inspired the name? What was the next steps for you?
I took a leap of faith. I still didn't have a name, but I had everything else. I had the girls that majority of the girls that I wanted to participate in the middle school showcase.
So that was your first event, was the middle school
showcase, yes.
Awesome.
I already had relationships with the media platforms or my friends. I asked them to just come out and just give these girls a chance. And they did. But I still didn't have a name. I still didn't have t-shirts or anything. And I was just writing out what I could do, what names weren't taken. And then I took a break. I was at a coffee shop in Carson called The Green Door. I had my coffee and my banana bread, and I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I was watching a couple of highlight tapes, and then there was one highlight tape that caught my eye, and I was like, dang, I like Her Game. I said that out loud, and I was like, wait, let me see if Her Game is taken, and it wasn't. So that's how beautiful. It came out.
Goosebumps, guys. Yeah. I barely get goosebumps on the show. I ain't gonna lie. That gave me goosebumps. Like, for you to remember the exact aha moment that, put you in the position that you're in.
Yeah.
For the name to be solidified in that moment. That's amazing. That's not, it's like it's something that can only come from God, right? In that moment. And so, wow.
Yeah.
So you have the name now. This is before the actual showcase.
Yeah.
So how fast did you have to get that together to get the shirts and all that?
A month.
A month. Okay.
A month. So I already had the sketches down. I remember doodling everything during a weekly meeting that I was supposed to pay attention to in my notes, but I was just trying to figure out what type of design I wanted on the shirt. And then my business partner at the time, he knew somebody that could bring my vision to life. He got the shirts made, and we had them, the girls, my seniors now, some of the top middle school girls, middle school prospects in Southern California wear the shirts.
Yes. They're seniors now in high school. Can you name some of those girls?
Yes.
Who are they? Who were they in your first
yes. Kendi Smith, she's the number one player in California, just committed to USC. Yep. Janessa Cotton, she committed to Duke. Brian Bennett committed to UC Davis. Wow. Layla Davis committed to Cal State Fullerton. The list goes on that I could think of. Brooklyn Shamlin, she just committed to USC too.
Yeah. Wow. So that was your first group.
Yes.
And Miara
O'Neal as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, to not know, right, but to have the confidence in yourself, take the leap of faith, and everything delivered on time for you to have this first event. And then what happens after that first event? How does her game take off?
Well, it wasn't a walk in the park to get everybody. I remember driving to every event to just personally go to their games, shake the parents' hands, just solidify myself from other platforms that are going on, and making sure that the girls were going to be as safe and comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
So yes, I remember driving hours to the events, and before getting all the girls there.
Yeah.
So when her game launched, I just wanted to prove a point. I wanted to prove a point to let people know that girls could play on one of the biggest stages too, and show out. And I thought that it was gonna put her game on the map. It put them on the map as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to work.
Yes.
When we help other people, it raises our brand and our recognition as well. And so, the whole platform of her game is explain it to me in a couple sentences. What exactly her game is? It an event? Is it, what all is it?
It's so many avenues. At first, when I started, I remember telling myself, I want to be the female version of Tangos.
Yeah. Dope.
I thought it was going to be that, but it's bigger. In 2023, we've worked with so many organizations, so many brands. I've referred different girls to casting calls, and they're featured in Nike commercials, other campaigns too. I would say that it's a platform of creating opportunities, also exposure, but still giving back to our community.
Yeah. Oh, that's so dope. Something from a moment of somebody being dumb and not giving girls gear to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we thank God for that moment, right? Even though it was a
Yes.
terrible experience, but it triggered something in you emotionally that made you have to do something, gave you a purpose, a bigger purpose that probably was already inside of you, but understanding that, hey,
Yeah.
you can do it
Right.
because you got fed up with the system, right?
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing. All right, so that's 2019. October 2019 was your first event. We're in 2020, almost 2024 now. So over the last 4 years now, what other types of events have you done? Which ones are kind of your favorites? Like, man, I can't believe this happened.
2023 was our first year we've done high school events. And the words that I lived by in 2023 was leveling up. I'm trying to make sure I had to do high school events because, like I mentioned, the first group of girls are seniors now. I wanted to make sure that everything was prepared for them before they leave. I think my favorite event this year would be the senior all-star game. We called it the last ride.
Okay.
So I asked my cousin to bring in his low riders, and we had like a media day.
Dope.
So all the girls were just taking pictures in their low riders, and then we were able to have Nike give out their shoes. So all the girls were decked out in their shoes. And it was just an experience for them to feel like they were all-stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. That's dope to give them a unique experience, something I've never heard of. And you're talk about your brand partnership with Nike, them supporting your events, and that probably came from when you were a brand ambassador at that time. And how did those relationships connect, and how did those people who I'm not saying that Nike did, but other people who you were giving these ideas to that weren't happening at first, you starting your own, and now, brands like Nike recognizing those and supporting those, like, one, how does that feel? I'm sure it feels amazing. And two, how did it organically happen, or how did those come about? The opportunity to connect with them.
I think it was just so natural. Because at the time when I was a brand ambassador and I was still lost and trying to figure out what my niche was, there was one woman that just kept looking out for me, and she was working for Jordan at the time. She was a Jordan rep at the time. And so any activation that they had in the marketing agency that they were working for, she wanted to make sure that I was on staff every time. And then she went to Nike. The same thing with Nike when I was a brand ambassador for them. She wanted to make sure that I was there. And when I launched her game, she wanted to make sure that Nike was the first group, the first brand to make sure that they had our backs.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
now she's doing her own thing. She's an agent now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so dope. That's so dope. So from a relationship
Standpoint.
and it's been connecting ever since. And you're doing it the right way and doing it for the right reason. So, of course, that raises the level. What other unique things has her game done that people don't see? You mentioned like getting people casted in shows. Like that's something I didn't know. What other are, commercials or and those types of things? What other unique things has her game done that people may not know that you're impactful in?
I didn't think that we would have this much impact or control of, but I do see the influence of people that are starting to incorporate girls, and they're using, or they're incorporating everything that we've done with the girls, with the media standpoint, covering them, highlighting them, showing them love. I would say that I think people are still confused in what we're still in our beginning stages right now. So people could label us as just a media platform. People could label us as just a middle school event platform. Other people could just say that we just support our college girls. I would say that we're the bridge to everything. We provide everything in every aspect, from supporting our college girls, because we do have our college league in the summertime when they come back home. But we still do a better job of supporting them and coming out to their games. Their high school girls, our first group that we started out with, we still go out to their high school events. We still do our high school games. We still do our middle school run, our high school runs, high school showcases. Our middle school events, we do our middle school showcases, our middle school runs. So I would say just anything that's girls basketball related, we're the bridge to anything that comes with it.
Man, that's amazing. And that, like you said, you're just getting started, because the number of girls that you've impacted is only going to get greater, and they're going to seek and try to find opportunities and advice and whatever they need for that guidance. And now you've done it. You've got your first girls who are graduating, right? And so you know how to take them from a middle school to a high school and give them the experience and the resources and tools that they need to get to that next level. So congratulations on it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Your most recent event, you did the Chosen Ones.
Third one.
Third one?
Yes.
So you've done all three. There's only been three. You've done all three. And so what is it exactly did you partner with the Chosen Ones event to do, and how was this last experience?
I would say the first Chosen Ones Invitational, that definitely solidified us and put us on the map, and just made sure that we were a different entity from any of our other competitors that are out there. I can't really say who. No, I don't see anybody doing what we're doing. But the first one was at the Staples Center, when it was Staples Center at the time. Days after they changed it to crypto.
So you're one of the last Staples Centers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
I still call it Staples. I don't care what nobody says.
So we were involved with the youth clinic. So they would have their youth clinic before, and they've done a great job of bringing in different organizations that amplify girls. So we were a part of that group.
Nice. Awesome. So you pretty much an activation, they get gear, and you help bring in the girls.
Yes.
That's dope. And so that's what you've done the last 3 years with the event as well.
Yes.
And so this last one, it seemed a little more special than before. How has it grown from that first event to this last one?
I've done a better job of just bracing myself, of knowing what's to come. I was only able to select a few girls, and I wanted to make sure different girls were represented in different programs. It wasn't just one program coming out to represent themselves. So I was ready for any type of backlash I would receive from entitled parents that would just make it seem like their daughters needed to be there, when actuality it was just people that I felt that would do a great job of representing her game and that deserved to be there. So I was ready for that backlash. I was prepared to have, I hired my own content so I could see I wouldn't have to do anything when I still did what I had to do, but I just had somebody covering it. And then it was a bonus to have my sister there as one of the coaches as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think that this year was special because of how we presented ourselves on and off the court. The girls were in our new shirts that are dropping very soon. It's called Stand on Business, our shirts. And then we had the sparkly socks that just separated us from everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So what's next? I saw you have another event coming up like today or tomorrow? A couple days?
Couple of days.
Yeah, what is that exactly?
We just have our middle school run, our last run to open up the year, and then we are doing a lot of stuff with the Junior Clippers, starting off the year as well, and then we're just going to do a better job of supporting our college girls.
Nice. And so what is in the future for her game? What can we look forward to big picture? What's the, the big, I'm going to say 5 to 10 year dream for her game?
Like I said, we're opening different avenues right now. I could see it still continuing to be the bridge of everything, and maybe potentially offering NIL deals to our girls.
Yeah, I see that. And I was going to ask about that. I was like, this is what it sounds like, and being an agency for them, and really protecting them and giving them information they need to take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this show is about. That's what this is about, is that parents have the information. And so you guys check out her game and everything they're doing and connect with Coach Des. Like, this is amazing.
Thank you.
And what you're doing with it. Awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on specifically that you can see? This is more not specifically to her game, but just in women's sports or women's basketball overall, that you see as an important topic that we should be talking about or caring about right now?
What I love to see going forward in the future, maybe in the next 5 years or so, I'd love to see more women being involved, more women creating more spaces for our girls. And I know it's this is 2023 was the year that I just gave myself more grace and just understanding that everybody is going through a process, and they need to embrace their journey, and really understanding who their tribe is while they're maneuvering through that experience. But I love to see more women taking ownership, more leadership, more in control of who's who or what to say in our space, because we've been through it.
100%. And so my challenge to you is, who are you mentoring? Who are you bringing up to do that? Because I think it's important for us. I had somebody who showed me training. I had somebody who showed me business, right? I had this mentor who kind of guided me through a lot of stuff. When I took the jump to business, I was by myself for a while, and then I got a business partner who kind of showed me business structure and helped me so I can help all the people who work with me, right? So I know you are already probably, but who, making sure you mentor and teaching them how to mentor is so important in the community. So that's my challenge for you. I think this is the first Elevate Your Game challenge. So
Yeah.
we're going to check back in. Next time we're going to do this again, and I'm going to see who's coming up with something new or, building her game with you.
I think you'll definitely see in summer 2024, we've had a couple of college girls, high school girls come out and coach a couple of our clinics and camps, and that inspired them to run their own camps too.
Nice.
So you'll see that very soon.
love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna move to the next segment of our show.
Okay.
All right. It's my Rushmore. Okay. Your top 4 shoes. We're going all time?
I would say that.
All time. Your top 4 shoes, all time. Since you've been in this space, you know what's coming out. You know what's here. What you got?
I would say the Jordan ones. They're classics.
Yeah.
Um,
Colorway or just any Jordan ones?
just any Jordan ones. The nostalgic ones, like the Carolina ones. I would say that. One, I would say Jordan 11s.
Yeah.
Favorite one is Bread 11s. Those ones. And Space Jam. Space Jam 11s. That just turned my life around, the Space Jam ones. I would say this one. I don't have a pair yet. The GGs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were involved with their activation this year, the
Nice.
Play GG's Way activation in May, like days before her birthday.
Nice.
So last one. Last one, I would say the LeBron 20s.
Yeah.
LeBron 20s, and it's not only just because of how it looks, it's just I remember the activations and how that shoe just played a huge part in her game. Yeah.
That's dope. All right, so my 4. Oh man, it's getting rougher. Shoes are getting better,
Yeah.
and so my favorite Jordans are the 12s.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love 12s, and I like hooping in them too. Most people don't like hooping in Jordans. I'm old school. We hooped in our Jordans. I think, and the 12s were the first Jordans that I had, and so yeah, I like the obsidian blue colorway, but that's a little detailed. And then second, actually, the Sabrinas. I just got a pair. Oh my
Oh yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're my favorite shoe. I wear them all the time now. My favorite hoop shoes right now.
Oh nice.
Yeah, so I like the Sabrinas. Those are dope. And then LeBron Soldier 2s with the straps, where
Oh,
the
okay, I remember
Velcro
those.
straps.
Okay, I
Yes.
remember those.
So I like heavy shoes when I hoop because I move too fast and I get out of control. So I need something to kind of anchor me down. So those are my favorite shoes to actually hoop in, probably all time. And lastly, actually Canes. They're the most comfortable shoe.
I've heard.
They are ridiculously comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys don't have Canes, you guys got to get Canes. They're built for athletic recovery, and this is without a deal. Cane, give me a deal. I wear these every time
Please.
I'm on this show. Like, let's go, let's get here. And so, but definitely, I wear either these or basketball shoes. I don't wear anything else anymore. So, literally been to like weddings and these things.
Oh, I need to get me a pair then.
Yeah, we gotta get you a pair.
Yeah.
So no, they're awesome. All right, so this is a time where we flip the script. Okay, I know I'm hitting at some of your camera fears here, but you're the interviewer now.
Okay.
This is Elevate Her Game Show by Coach Des. 2 questions for me.
Okay, 2 questions. You said you went through similar experiences growing up. What advice would you like to give to your college self?
My college self. That's a good one. To my college self, I would tell you to not be afraid to be yourself. I was so coachable that I became a shell of myself because of what another man thought of me, which was my coach. He thought I was just built to set screens and play defense, and I knew I was so much more because every time he was not in the gym, I was that kid. But when he came in the gym, that's what I did. And I'm not saying don't be coachable, but also continue to fight for who you know you are, even if a coach puts you in a certain role. and getting better. I worked my butt off and did all these things. I didn't get good at basketball until after college because there was no pressure on me, right? There was nothing to tell me what to do. So to my college self, trust yourself and do not care what other people think of you, and just be the best version of yourself.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Last question. How did Elevate Your Game come about?
Elevate Your Game came about. I had an event called the Core Prep Fall Classic, an event we do in the fall, like a week or two before this actual basketball season starts, where we have high schools come where core alumni play on the team. So it's like core alumni playing against each other. And I interviewed the coaches in a podcast because I want to do kind of like a season preview. And we're blessed to have some of the top schools in the Valley, like Harvard Westlake and Notre Dame and all these schools. And it went really, really well. Like the coaches left. It was only a 15-minute quick little podcast in my office. Like it wasn't anything official. Literally had one of my coaches with the camera and fake mics and like just fly by night. Just wanted to make the event cool. And they were like, "Oh, this was awesome. When are you going to do it again? Would love to do this again." And everybody just loved them. And I was like, "Oh, this is cool. Maybe I will do it again." And then Karina came. She moved back out here. So our family, we knew each other from church. And so she moved to Kansas City for a while and moved back out here in January. And I was like, "Hey, I'm going to do this podcast thing." And she's like, "Oh, cool. My brother has some expensive cameras and all this equipment." And then my buddy who owns the office, or he rents this office space, we knew him from over COVID. We had a marriage ministry. He was a part of our marriage ministry. And I started telling him about our podcast and just talking with him. And he was like, "Oh, I got an extra room if you want to use it." And I'm like, "All right, cool. How much is it?" He was like, "It's free."
Wow.
And so Karina designed it. She did this. She painted all this herself.
Wow.
My idea with the movie posters and all that, she lined them up though. I'm not that good with straight lines. So, and then we invited our first guest, which was Katino Mobley, and he said yes with no hesitation. And then every guest since then has just been amazing. Like it's a very organic, natural. That feeling you feel with Her Game is what this is. And it just rolls. It's just smooth. I love being in this seat. I love getting to know people and what they're doing. And yeah, we're just gonna keep going. So we're on episode 37, 8. This is number 40. So yeah, you're episode 40. And so every week we've been going since May, I think. We've been posting ever since. And we're not going to stop. So,
yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. So you have a girls clock. You have a 30-second shot clock. That's your camera right there. Tell the people where they can find you. Any information you have about upcoming events or just any inspiration you have for the people. You got 30 seconds.
Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Des. I'm the founder of Her Game. If you'd like to learn more information about our organization, you can follow us on all our social media platforms at This Is Her Game. If you'd like to purchase our merch, you can get that at www.thisishergame.com.
Straight to the point. We love it. Des, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
We hope to see you back soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right. That's all for today, guys. See you next time. Peace.